After 2 weeks in Egypt, we took a ferry ride from the Sinai Peninsula to Aqaba in Jordan.
So this is our massively overpriced ferry. This was $70 a ticket for a 1-hour journey from Egypt to Jordan. But the good news is it's called the Princess. Okay, so at 10 a.m. we got up this morning and we headed out of this little town in Egypt for an hour and a half ride in a little van to get to a port city where we could then take a ferry, and we take the ferry across the Red Sea and then we arrive in Jordan. And the ferry is supposed to take an hour and the ride in the van is supposed to take an hour and a half. We're now in Jordan and it is, what time is it?
Almost 8.
It's almost 8 p.m. So an hour and a half from 10 is, 11:30 plus an hour is not 8 p.m. So it took a little longer than advertised, but we're here now and we know we're about 7 kilometers outside of the actual city where we need to get to sleep, but we don't have any money at all because there's no ATMs, and the only place to exchange money, which we don't have any of anyways to exchange, we have very little money, is on the other side of immigration, so we can't go back in there to exchange any cash. So we don't really know what direction the city is. We know it's north, but we think you have to go south to get out of this complex that they're in, for the port. So we don't really have any idea how to get there. So right now we're just gonna kind of watch cars for a minute and determine maybe that'll help. Whatever direction the cars go might help, but I don't know. And a taxi driver is about to come up here and bug us a whole bunch about giving us a ride, but yeah, I don't have any money, so I don't know.
Here, I can try and get it with our change.
Katie's gonna try to use our change. All right, let's see what happens. Because we've got a little bit of leftover. That's all. That's Jordanian. And then there's some bills. I don't know. City center. I don't know. I'm shutting this off. Okay, so now we have just gotten in a cab and we don't have any money and he knows it, and I'm not really 100% sure where we're gonna end up, but yeah, should be interesting. I don't really understand what's going on. So we got in this cab knowing we shouldn't have. I just want to put that down for record, and we're off. Okay, so that taxi driver took us maybe 10 minutes away, so it was quite a ways, and we paid him, he was I need, working in US money at this point. He said, he asked for the equivalent of about $10. We were he's kind of trying to jip us. And we showed him, we had some change somebody had given us on the bus for Jordanian money. And we were dude, this is all we've got. And it equated to 30 cents or something. So he was just okay, whatever. And he just gave us a ride completely, from what it seems, out of the kindness of his heart. I'm not sure if maybe he knows the hotel and the hotel is going to give him a kickback for bringing him some people or something. I don't know. I mean, he walked in there and talked to him, but I don't know what transpired. He left before any money was handed over to him, so maybe he'll come back later. I'm not sure. But, I mean, needless to say, it was essentially free to get here. And everybody has been super, super nice. And, coming out of Egypt, you're a little bit on guard. You're a little bit everybody's trying to rob me. So when people are actually being nice, then you're kind of suspicious of them. So it takes a couple days to get that out of my mind. Something that's neat though, he took us, the guy that we're staying at this hotel here, and that's the hotel. And he took us up on the roof and he showed us that this way you can see Israel. We're standing in Jordan. Right over there you can see Egypt, on the roof of course. And then back over here is Saudi Arabia, 10 kilometers. So you're really at that little point in the Middle East where there is a whole bunch of stuff going on. It's kind of an interesting place to be. And the city so far seems pretty nice. Things seem pretty modern, and we may actually end up staying a day longer than we had anticipated. So right now we have to go find an ATM, and then we can go find food, and then we can pay our hotel. And then we'll have it made. So yeah, we've been here for 10 minutes and it's very evident that Jordan is a modern, regular, everyday country. It kind of just looks a little European, to be honest with you. So that's good to know because Egypt was not. And I'm excited to be in a first world nation. So it's Friday, and Friday here in this part of the world means it's the weekend. So everybody is down here at this beach, just kind of having a good old time. I hope a kid doing a flip is on there. That was awesome. And it's really pretty here. The water is a really nice blue color, and the mountain range in the background is really nice. And it's a giant Jordanian flag right there, and the mountain range goes all the way around behind us as well. Like I said last night, we're kind of at an interesting point geographically, where that's Israel, Jordan, Egypt, Saudi Arabia. And you can see there's people over here. They're actually smoking the hookah on the beach. So that is something that is done apparently. And I mean, they do it with everything leisurely, so I guess I'm not really all that surprised. But I mean, other than that, it looks pretty much just like a normal beach where families are in there swimming. Aside from the fact that there are no women lounging around in their bikinis, that is for sure. It really must seem like that I'm actually hunting out huge flagpoles, but this is the third giant flag I have seen on this trip, and this is the Jordanian flag in Aqaba, and it is the second tallest flag in the world freestanding. Of course, that would be after the one in Abu Dhabi, which is the largest, and then the largest flagpole in the world is North Korea's, but they use wires to hold it up. So this is pretty cool. I actually got right underneath of it. I haven't been right underneath the other two. So this is it's really big. So this is apparently the remains of a mosque from like 1500 years ago. And it kind of sits in an area that's been excavated. Apparently this was a whole little village right here. And now it's surrounded by luxury hotels and whores. And hey, you can see the huge flagpole. I'm quite a ways away from it now, so still pretty big. Let's take a look at over here. It looks kind of like it might be some walls and stuff that are left. You definitely see the foundations and structures of things that have been built. Oh, that's nice. It's cool to see that these archways have existed for so long and they are still here. I wonder if they have been reconstructed at all. I hate that it's hard to tell that if you're not, into this stuff. It's kind of neat regardless. So our hotel has a roof that overlooks the Red Sea, so we're going to go up here and check out the sunset. And that's not bad at all. How about that? I mean, the crane's in the way, but kind of ignore the crane and things are good. They also have the internet up here. Okay, so usually looking for postcards is actually kind of lame because it's usually just, postcards. But in Jordan postcards are amazing. So like this is the former king and queen. Look at that for a postcard. It looks like a portrait, like. And this is the current king. He's this looking pimp. That's the entire postcard. Somebody's gonna get one of those, I'm sure. And let me see this. Here's one of the. I think that's the old queen or something. I don't know who this is, but she's just driving a car. That's cool. And then there's this guy, a blowfish. Like they all just look like photographs, like really awful photographs. Not bad. It's like glamour shots by Deb up in here. And then this is my personal favorite. Two people skiing. Check out this jogger. Yeah, girl.
I probably won't be able to get footage of this. I'm watching these kids there's 3 kids, 2 kind of older kids, a boy and a girl, and a maybe like 6-year-old girl. And they're basically like walking up to tourists and even locals, which is odd. Usually they're begging. So usually if people are begging, they are just bothering tourists. You'll end up pointing at a local and they'll be like, no, I'm not going up to them. So they're going up to basically anyone and getting in their face. I'm watching one of them pull the hair of a tourist right now. She's not pulling a hair, but I mean, she's touching the tourist's hair and moving it around. It's pretty, like, you just don't touch people you don't know or whatever. Anyways, they came up to Eric and
Show my bag. Like, my bag is around me like this, so it's like, without cutting it, you can't possibly get it off. But she came up to me and hoping that it would be on my shoulder like this, grabbed it and tried to pull it away. And then I was like, you know, made a bunch of noise at her. And she goes, fuck you, like starts screaming at me. And like, you look at her eyes, she's insane, like completely bonkers, the older one. And she's just ordering around the little one, like run across the street and do this. And she just runs in front of cars and goes and like, you know, bothers other travelers. Hopefully we'll get some footage. It's pretty crazy.
the kids are down the street now. They've walked into an alley. So they said fuck you to Eric, and I instantly turned around because I could hear Eric saying fuck you back, and I'm like, who is he talking to? So I walk out and they instantly just point at me and start swearing at me in Arabic. So I don't really know what's going on with them, but they are absolutely crazy, and hopefully we get some good footage of them just doing something messed up. We watched a lady smack the older girl in the face because she wouldn't get out of their way, and we've seen a good bit of drama come out of these three kids, so onward.
Okay, so this is our breakfast. This is this little place. They're staying at this hotel right here, and this little place is like always really, really busy. And all it really is a bunch of like standalone tables out in front of this little shop. And we just ordered a hummus, some falafel, and they bring you out pita and tea. And it's really, really good, and it's understandable why it's always extremely crowded here. So this tea, it's like a mint tea, and it's kind of sweet, but it's kind of not. And it tastes like it might be like, I don't know, like almost like a fruity tea, but not really. I don't know. It's really, really amazing tasting.
It's good.
It's good. So if you can find some of this and some sugar and some mint leaves, you can make you some tea.